What if you don't like your friend's significant other? Like, what if you don't think he's good for her?
I do think that talking about another person's relationship is very tricky. I have a very, very dear friend that we've grown up together. I mean, I'm talking since high school. We had a falling out not too long ago because... Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Scrubs to Stilettos with me, Dr. Nicole Martin.
And me, Dr. Tiffany Moon.
How are you doing, Tiff?
I'm doing good. I don't know, just ready to take a little bit of a rest. I feel like I've been running at 100 miles per hour for the last several weeks or months.
I know, 'tis the season, I think it's just the time of year where everybody is overloaded with activities. It's the holiday parties, it's the school activities, the Christmas performance, the buying the gifts, the gift exchange, the don't forget to take the family photos, the sending out the cards, all of those things. And it's overwhelming to say the least.
Let's do a quick weekly obsession. I'll go first. I met Charlie Sheen at a charity event that he hosted in Dallas. It's called the World's Largest Toy Drive. We raised over $60,000 and bought Christmas toys for disadvantaged youth in the Dallas area. And then we had the toys laid out on a football field, and the families had staggered times where they came to the school, the football field, and got to pick out stuff: headphones, scooters, bicycles, dolls, Barbies, jelly cats, like just toys galore. But Charlie Sheen was the host of the fundraiser event for that toy drive, and he gave me his book, The Book of Sheen, and he autographed it for me because I'm just so enamored when authors autograph their books, and I have been reading it. I'm only probably away of the third in, but this man has lived a life, honey.
Oh, yeah. Did you see his documentary?
Daniel watched it on Netflix while I was in the room, so I did catch little pieces of it, but I was also doing other things. But I didn't know a lot of the stuff that was in here. And then, our Real Housewives connection. I don't know if you've ever met Denise Richards, but she is lovely. I met her at something that Crystal Kung Minkoff had done a couple of years back, which she was already off the Housewives by then. Actually, she wasn't actively filming, but she's hilarious. Like, I didn't know she was kind of like this dry, I don't know how to describe her. She's kind of like don't give a shit, dry, sarcastic sense of humor. So anyway, if you guys are into autobiographies, memoirs, I highly recommend The Book of Sheen.
I forever have used earbuds or headphones, like wireless ones, and I lose them all the time. I've probably bought, 15 pairs of earbuds. I take one off, I leave it at the gym in the little cup holder, or I put it in my pocket and then they fall out of my pocket, whatever. I was just tired of buying headphones and losing them. So I'm taking it old school. Like, I'm talking like iPhone 1. Look. Old school one.
Where are you going to plug them in? There's no hole.
Yes, girl. It's like the charger outlet. It goes into the charger.
You just bought these?
I just got them from Apple. They're Apple made, and you plug it into the charger like old school ones. No EMF, like no bad brain waves for your, waves for your brain. I can't lose them because it's attached to my phone. It's like, I am so happy with these. I cannot express to you. These bring me joy. This has been like the best purchase of the month.
That is so funny. I also have 3 pairs of AirPods.
I keep it in my back pocket of my scrubs. I go to work.
Remember when the iPhone first came out, like circa 2007, 8, or actually the iPod that just played music? And I was like, oh my God, I have 256 songs on this little thing right here. And it was so cool to be seen wearing a pair of those white headphones that are wired, because that meant you had an iPod. Do you remember this? Like 2006, maybe?
Like a fuchsia pink one, and the little wheel would like go around. Yeah, I remember.
Oh my God.
Tiff, when I tell you, I'm like obsessed with this like old school.
I'm happy that you're so happy over that.
I'm so happy.
Okay, friends. Today we are doing a special episode about etiquette, the new rules of etiquette. And this is not Emily Post over here. We are not giving outdated advice from your mother's generation. This is modern etiquette for the modern working mom. We hope to talk about some of the things that have happened to us recently, give you our take on it, and maybe help you solve a dilemma or two.
Yeah, we're not talking like old school cotillion and how you sit and cross your legs, but we're talking more about how you operate and move in everyday life. So I have an example, and it actually was the first thing I thought about when we talked about this subject. Was the other day I was at the gym. I go to like a pretty big popular gym, kind of like an Equinox, Lifetime, LA Fitness type of thing where there's a lot of people. And there was a girl that was working out. And she was like working out right in front of the rack of weights where all the dumbbells are. And she had set up her phone to record herself working out on one of the barbells, right? And so if you needed to get a barbell, you couldn't like get the barbell because she was standing right in front of the thing and recording. And there was a guy that I could tell was like, I was like seeing it out of the periphery, was getting annoyed because he wanted to get in there and grab a barbell and she couldn't. So at some point he was like, well, screw it. And he walked right in between her and her phone and got the barbell. And you could tell he was like huffing and puffing and whatever. And then she was like, dude, I'm filming something. Like she snapped at him. And I'm like, I mean, he's not wrong, girl. You're at a gym. It's a public place. You're occupying the space where all the weights are so that you can film your content. You can't be mad if someone walks in between there. Like you don't own the space or the gym. So this led me to like think about all the times that we're in public and you see people filming and then they get annoyed because you cross through their filming path. So what are your thoughts on this, like filming in public?
Well, as a quote unquote influencer slash content creator, I think that the onus is on you to make sure that other people are not being filmed when you're filming and to be as least obtrusive as possible. It's these kind of people that give quote unquote influencers a bad name, right? It's the kind of people who go to a restaurant and think that they're going to get comped just because they're an influencer. It's the kind of people that are filming in a public space and then acting huffy puffy when you get in their shot. That these are the people that give influencers a bad name. So I think in this circumstance, like the girl was totally in the wrong. And if I was that guy, I would have been like, excuse me, can I get to some weights here?
I mean, I totally agree. I think that sometimes there's this sense of entitlement that some influencers have. Yes, you are free to shoot whatever content you want on your phone, but you're not necessarily free to invade other people's privacy. So if you're in a locker room or you're in a spa and you're filming your selfie of how you're getting a massage and there's someone behind you in a towel, like that's not cool because that person did not want to be broadcasted on your social media. They're there for their own privacy, intimate moment. And here you are videotaping them. So I feel like people need to be a little bit more mindful of the space in which they're filming and make sure that you're not including someone without their permission. And also that you're not occupying a bunch of public space in your process of filming.
Yeah, no, I mean, I get it. You always have to be making content, right? Like the algorithm is a monster and you have to keep feeding the monster in order for it to be happy. But at the same time, I think there's a fine line between, being obtrusive in public spaces. Right. Like if you're in your own privacy, your own plane, your own gym, like your own house, obviously do whatever the hell you want. But when you're in a public space, you have to be more mindful of other people, which speaking of public spaces, and because it's the holidays and because I've recently been traveling, there is nowhere better to observe the inadequacies of common etiquette than the airport. I have never seen adults behaving so poorly as in the airport when a flight is delayed or someone needs to move their bag to another overhead space to make that space bigger to fit their luggage. People, what is it with people in the airport? Please explain to me.
This is one of the things that make me very thankful that I don't have to fly commercial very often because
Wait, I'm asking the wrong person to explain this to me because you're like, airport? Bitch, I don't go to the airport.
that being said, I have seen lots of content on social media that makes me cringe. So the other day, someone sent me a reel of this lady pulling out of her bag an entire crab boil. Like, like in Louisiana, the like Cajun shrimp boil. And this lady opened up this whole plastic bag with like steamed shrimp and lobster and like, I don't know, all the corn and the potatoes that you get in like that crab boil from New Orleans. And
On the plane?
On the plane.
That had to have been a setup, like for content. I mean, for clicks.
I mean, people eat raw eggs. You should not bring hard-boiled eggs on the plane. You know how stinky that is?
Yeah.
Like a tuna sandwich?
No.
I don't know. At work, I don't bring fish to work because I don't want to heat up fish in the common staff lounge and stink it up. And if I bring hard-boiled eggs, I don't like eat them in the staff lounge. I eat them like outside on one of the little tables because I know it's stinky. Like, I don't know. I'm very mindful about like the impact of the aromas that I'm releasing. How can people think it's common? Like, do people not care? Like, I felt like eating a tuna sandwich, so I'm going to eat it on the plane. Screw anyone else that's around me.
Well, have you seen those videos of people like clipping their toenails on the plane? Or like they're sleeping and they have no socks on and their feet are like up against the window and then it's the other customer and somebody else's feet is like inches of their face.
No, I mean, even like we were watching a theater show and Grayson was like, kicking his feet up like the little kids do. And I was like, stop, Grayson, you're kicking the gentleman in front of you's seat. That's like really annoying. Don't do that anymore. How are people just so oblivious to how their actions, their decisions impact the people around them? Do people just not care?
I don't know. I think this is a bigger societal issue that like, I don't know if it's post-COVID because that's what I like to blame it on, but like everyone has just lost their sense of decorum and it seems like every man for himself and common etiquette has just gone way out the window. I think partially social media is to blame.
All right, let's do a little bit rapid fire. I'm going to give you a couple scenarios and you can let me know what your thoughts on are. Voice notes. But like I'm talking long voice notes because we all have that friend that sends, like 60-second, a minute and a half voice notes. What are your thoughts on them?
I don't love voice notes because a lot of time I'm in the operating room. And so if you text me, I can read it. But if you voice note it, I'm not going to listen to it. And if you need to send multiple voice notes that are 60 seconds, maybe you should make an appointment to have an actual phone call with your friend. Like, hey, I get off work at 4:30. Can you talk then? I'll be driving home for 30 minutes, right? Like, if I have to pick yes or no, I'm going to say no.
For me, it depends, right? Like I do think there's a time and place for it. I'm not sending my boss a voice note, right? Or I'm not trying to conduct business with via voice note. But if I'm like driving and my bestie send me a text and I like quickly read it, but I can't text because I'm driving, I might be like, hey, yeah, of course, I'll see you tonight at dinner at 7. Or it might be something short and sweet, but I'm not trying to tell you a whole story via voice note. Because I just think it's a little bit rude that the person that's receiving it now has to listen to the whole thing. You don't know where they're at. If there's anyone else that's listening, it's just, I don't know.
If there's anyone else that's listening, you play and sometimes it automatically goes to speaker and you're like, oh shit.
Correct. And so I feel like it's a little bit inconsiderate. Also, I can't keep track of everything you're saying in the minutes. So then when I respond back, then I have to respond to a whole minute's worth of stuff in one response. And then it's annoying for me to have to text back like, oh my God, you're so right. I'm sorry he did that. Maybe you can talk like.
It's a weird way to communicate because it's unnatural that one person would talk for a minute and you wouldn't have the opportunity to like insert something there. Right. I don't like it.
I have a friend that does this. I do. I have one particular friend. She comes to mind. I'm not going to say her name. I love her dearly, but she likes to send long voice. Like tell you a whole story.
I had a friend who tried it with me once and she's like, did you listen to my voice notes? And I wrote back, sorry, was an OR, could not listen. And then she stopped doing it.
I agree. It's definitely not my preferred. I think there might be a place for it if you're driving. However, it is not a preferred method of communication. Posting kids that are not yours.
Oh no. Oh
Like you're at a
no.
birthday party and you want to take a really cute picture of like Chloe or whatever, and post it.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I will usually ask the parents if their child is in a photo with my child that I want to post, but more often than not, I just say to myself, I'm not going to post it. But I have asked for the girl's birthday party in particular, because I wanted to post that. I did ask the parents if they were okay, and most of them were. There was a Halloween party, and all the girls were dressed up, and they were really, really cute. And I wanted to post a picture, but I couldn't get to all the parents because they were all like scattered, and we were walking all over the neighborhood. And so I just didn't end up posting a picture from Halloween because I want to err on the side of caution when it involves other people's kids. If, like me and you were hanging out and I took a picture, I may not ask you because in my mind, I'm like, she posts her kids. I see her kids. We talk about her kids. Their names are not a secret, like that kind of thing. But if it's like a new-ish kind of friend and that parent is not on social media, I will be very, very careful.
I definitely err on the side of caution as well. One, because I understand that I have chosen to be a public figure. I made the decision to go on national television. We obviously have a podcast. I'm public on Instagram, but a lot of people are not comfortable with that level of transparency and like giving that much access to the public. So if I don't know the family's wishes, I will not post them. So for example, Gray plays soccer. I like to post pictures of when he's playing soccer. I will make sure that like there is no other kid like in focus. Maybe there's a kid in the background that you can't make out whose face it is. It's just like a head on a body. But if there is a kid that's in the photo, I'll either like blur out the background and just focus on Gray or not post it at all.
Yeah, exactly. And it's not that important. Like, do I need to post this picture? Like, no, I don't, And most of the time, like if I just hesitate a little bit, like it'll pass and then I'll forget to post it anyway.
I totally agree.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on people that put their phone like on the table when you're at dinner?
Oh, I have been known to do that because like if my nanny needs me or something like that, but I don't constantly check it and I have it on do not disturb, which only 5 people can get through that. I get it. Like if you're expecting something or if you have a small child and someone else is watching them, but I think that like you should not be like scrolling Instagram. Like it should be there for like if the nanny calls or something, but you shouldn't be like texting a random person that's something not urgent or scrolling any kind of social media if you are in the presence of other people at a dinner table.
I prefer to not see it on the table, right? Like,
yeah, I put mine behind my back
because obviously, like you have small children, and if I'm out to dinner, then somebody else is watching my kids, usually a nanny. So I always, even when I get a massage or anything, I always keep my phone on like vibrate on my chest or whatever. Yeah. So usually I will tuck it like on the side by my butt. Yeah. That way, if it vibrates, I can look at it, or I'm aware that it's going off. So I try not to put it at the table. I'm not offended if someone has their phone out on the table. But if I'm at dinner and someone all of a sudden like picks up their phone and like starts like, I don't know, scrolling or like answering an email or something.
Hell no.
It bothers me. And Anthony likes to do this sometimes when we're at dinner, and it really, really annoys the shit out of me. I'm like, dude, we're at dinner. Like focus, like put your phone down. Like you don't need to like be, unless it's like something particular, like he's waiting for a specific email or something. Like if you're just mindlessly like, I don't know, passing time on the phone when other people are there, I think it's rude.
I mean, what you're basically saying, right? Let's be honest, is whatever on my phone right now is more important than you.
Yeah,
right.
I'm bored. I'm like, okay, I don't have anything really to say, so I'm going to do this other thing because it's like more entertaining than having a conversation with you.
Yeah, I do think that if you're at a dinner on a date night or with girls or whatever, like if you were going to go to the effort of getting dressed, making a reservation, taking an Uber to a nice restaurant and all that stuff, like, don't you want to be off your phone? If you wanted to be on your phone, you could have just stayed your ass at home and skipped the hair and makeup and getting dressed up and taking the Uber out, right? Like,
yeah, I'm not talking about like, oh, you're having a conversation about a particular thing and then you grab your phone to like look up something and show somebody. That's different, right? Because that's part of the conversation. You're using your phone to like continue the whatever it is you guys were talking about or show something. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about like the people that like you're six at a table and one person's like just.
Oh, yeah. It's always one person, whenever it's like six people. Because usually if it's two or three, nobody's really on their phone because you're pretty engaged and like all having, but the bigger it gets, yes, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. And I find that to be very rude.
Also, if you feel the need to be on the phone and you think your Instagram or whatever is more interesting, then maybe you're at the wrong party, honey. Like if the people at the party are that boring that you can't like ignite a conversation with one of them and you'd rather be on your phone, perhaps you're at the wrong party.
You know what else I find incredibly rude is someone that's late.
Oops. Okay, let me start by saying that I pack my schedule so freaking tight that it's like, 15-minute ASA units. And sometimes if one thing goes over a little bit, I will be up to 15 minutes late. But that's it, up to 15 minutes, which even a nice restaurant, a 3 Michelin star restaurant, will still hold my reservation for 15 minutes. But I don't do this like hour late to something. Like that's crazy to me. But I have been known on time to be 5 to 10 to 15 minutes late at maximum.
I feel like my days are so busy, like between work and, the business and the kids and all of these things that you're trying to juggle, that I don't have enough time to do all the things that I want to do. So I really value free time. So if I am dedicating my time to you, whether it be for a business meeting, a doctor's appointment, anything, I have carved out a specific amount of time to do this. I expect that person that I'm doing it with to respect that and show up on time. I usually show up 5 minutes early to an appointment. I'm very cautious about like, I waste things. I'm like, how long is it going to take? Like, what's the traffic at that time? Like, I really do try to be respectful of people's time. Just like I want people to respect my time. Not to say that like sometimes accidents happen and you can't get there on time. But I would say 90% of the time, 95% of the time, I am early to things and I find being late incredibly rude.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be one of my New Year's resolutions for 2026 is to stop being like perpetually that like 5 to 10 minutes late, where I'm like texting my friend. I need to just leave earlier. This is what it is. I always think I can get more stuff done in a finite period of time than I can actually get done. Like, I don't know why. It's like wishful thinking. And then of course I'm like scrambling to get ready and apologizing. And I actually hate the feeling of being late. It gives
that
me
anxiety.
It's not worth it.
You're looking at the clock and there's traffic and you can't get there.
I would rather be early and get to the table and like order a glass of wine and wait for my friend to show up and check my phone, because I always have something to check on my phone. Like if I have my phone, I can do emails, I can, edit reels. I have like 67 drafts in my reels that need to be edited and text overlaid and transitioned. And so I always have work to do. But that feeling of when I'm running late and then I'm texting my friend, I'm like, I'm so sorry, girl. Like it was backed up on the tollway, or I ran out of the OR at 4:53. Like, you know what I mean? And it's just such a bad feeling that I think I'm gonna start like giving myself more cushion is what it is.
Yeah, because I think what you're communicating when you're consistently late is that, one, your time is more valuable than theirs, right? Because whatever it was that you were doing that you didn't stop doing so you could be on time was more important than the person who's waiting for you. And in a professional standpoint, like I just think it's like poor time management, right? That you overbooked your schedule or whatnot. So for me, it's if I have an employee and they're consistently late, like you're out.
Yeah, consistently late shows me about a person.
It can be an accident, but consistent. Yes. I'm talking pattern. It's a goal for me.
I agree.
Like so much so that I looked at the OR schedule. I'm working tomorrow at the hospital and it's a busy day. Toward the end of the year, the OR.
Every day is a busy day. Yeah.
Because a lot of people, for those of you guys that are not in the healthcare field, your deductible resets at the end of the year. So if you've already met your deductible, then people are like, well, let me do this carpal tunnel surgery that I need to have done before my deductible resets and I have to pay $2,000. Or they're, doing their colonoscopies and their endoscopies and all their elective things. So we're slammed, and I made a nail appointment at 4 because I'm a per diem and normally I get out like around 4. But tomorrow I know I'm not going to get out at 4. So now I'm like anxious that am I going to make it to my nail appointment on time? These poor people, they're waiting for me. And I know it's the holidays and their schedules are slammed and I don't want to cancel on them. So now I have anxiety already about being late, potentially late tomorrow.
I hate that. I know exactly what you're talking about.
So then
And
I'm like, is this case going to finish on time? Is there going to be a cancellation? Oh, is there an add-on? Like,
like if you do nothing hoping that you're going to make it, it's probably going to go long. And if you cancel your nail appointment, probably you'll finish at 2 o'clock and been like, I could have gone. It never fails.
no, but this is what I'm talking about, the being considerate of other people, because I know it's the holidays and I made these appointments weeks in advance because everyone's trying to get their nails done for their holiday party, for Christmas, for their travels.
Right before we left for the Maldives, I had a waxing appointment because it's getting a little hairy down there. And of course, I was in a spine case and we were literally like turning off the Remy, turning off the propofol, about to flip them over. And I was like, I'll just finish it because it's not really appropriate after you've been running like a 4-hour case to like hand it off to someone. Of course, the patient has like prolonged emergence, took like 30 minutes. Propofol and Remy had been off for 30 minutes and this lady's like not waking up. I was like, oh, she did. She was totally fine. But I missed my waxing appointment and I had to go to the Maldives with a hairy bush because I just straight up missed it. Like I called and I was like, I'm not going to make it. And they're like, oh, you're going to be charged. I was like, fine, charge me. But like, I'm definitely not going to make it. And it just never fails. But sometimes that happens.
I know, that stinks.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about etiquette when it comes to friendship and relationships. I have a girlfriend that will make plans. We do this like once a month. We try to do like our girls' dinner or whatever. And I would say 9 out of 10 times she cancels last minute.
Oh, I have this friend too.
Oh, I'm so sorry. The kids are sick. All right, fine. Like that happens to anyone. Trust me, I've canceled plenty of times because my kids are sick. But I feel like there's always something. Oh, my nanny can't stay today. I would say that if we plan a dinner once a month, in the past year, we have successfully had dinner maybe twice. Like you're batting 80% cancellation rate. Like it's annoying to the point that I almost don't want to make plans with her because then I know I'm blocking off a day or a time that event, like to not do other things. And then they're going to cancel on me anyway. So I blocked it out for no reason.
Right.
What are your thoughts on like consistent cancelers?
I mean, how good of a friend is she to you? And how important is it to you to continue to nurture this friendship? Because my time is one of the most valuable things. Money, I can work more. I can, make more investments. I can get money. But like my time, I can't really get back. And also for most working moms, if I'm blocking out time to go to dinner with you, that likely means that I've asked my nanny to work late that night and ordered takeout for the kids so she doesn't have to, like I've done things on the back end to make this night go smoothly for all the people involved that it affects. And then for you to just be like, I don't feel good or let's reschedule, like it's not that simple. And it leaves me feeling disappointed and feeling like maybe, I'm not a priority for you. And so I would reevaluate that friendship. Remember, we had that episode, we can link in the show notes about adult friendships. I would give some serious consideration to, do you want to continue to nurture your friendship with this person? Because maybe they could just be one of the outer circle friends, because I think of my life, like I'm in the middle, right? Because the world revolves around me. And then there's my children and my husband and my brother and my parents, and the circle starts getting bigger. Then I have my, friend from med school, my bridesmaids, that like circle. And then the circle starts getting kind of big. And once you're out here on like the 4th or 5th concentric circle, yes, you're my friend. Yes, you're going to be invited to my birthday party. But am I going to move mountains to have date night with you when your cancellation rate is 70%? Probably not.
And I think people who don't have small children forget about all that goes into you making time for them, right? Getting the nanny, asking someone to stay late. Sometimes if you ask me to go to an early dinner at 6, 7 o'clock and I'm working that day, I work an hour away from my home. So if I get out of work at 4 or 5 o'clock, I don't have time to drive an hour home, shower, change clothes, drive back to wherever our dinner is, So a lot of times I wake up at 5 a.m. and I will pack a bag with a change of clothes, a blow dryer, like all of this crap. Like if I'm going to stay at a hotel so that I can change in the locker room of my hospital so that I can go to dinner with you. So now I woke up early to pack my bag. I asked my nanny to stay late and you're going to cancel on me at 5 o'clock because you're not feeling well. Like that upsets me.
No, you better be in the hospital like you were for Lead Her Summit if you're going to cancel.
I actually was like, oh my God, I hate when people cancel on me. I'm like, I'm going to like show her that I'm really here.
No, but we all know that certain people are flakers and other people, like they will be there unless they just tested positive for flu, in which case I don't even want you here. I almost want to say like, okay, we're anesthesiologists. And so all my surgeons that I regularly work with, I give them like a multiplication factor. For example, my thoracic surgeon, love him to death, but if he says it's going to be 30 minutes, it definitely means an hour. Whereas my plastic surgeon that I work with, if he says 30 minutes, you might be waking up in 20. And so they all have a multiplication factor. Okay, friends have a cancellation factor. You have your ride or die friend, like me and you, that it's like, they're gonna be there. Like, unless something terrible happened, they are gonna be there. And then you have the friends like this person where more often than not, they are not going to be there. And over time, that affects the friendship. I'm sorry, it does.
No, I agree. And then what do you think being honest looks like in an adult friendship, right? Because sometimes like honesty can be a little brutal or it can be a little harsh. So what are your thoughts on how do you deliver like maybe not the kindest news, but it's honest to you to someone?
Well, I have a friend who complains about money a lot. We were maybe going to take a girls' trip together. And then I offered a few places that I've never been. And she was like, oh, I can't go there. That's too expensive. And so then we kind of went down a notch or whatever. But then I see her making unwise money decisions, like buying things that she doesn't really need and can't really afford and putting it on credit cards and just going out to dinner random weeknights and like picking up the tab for a round of drinks at the bar with, not really close friends. And so I had to sort of give her a little talk about like, you can't keep complaining about money. And then I'm sort of picking up the bulk of the expenses when we go out, but then I see you making poor money decisions. And I feel like that was a little dose of honesty that perhaps wasn't well received.
Yeah, that's the thing with being honest, that like sometimes you do it with the best intentions, but it doesn't come off right. And I think that's the key, is to ask yourself, what are the intentions behind this honesty, right? Like, are you doing it to like hurt their feelings? In which case, obviously, that's not a nice thing to do. Or is someone doing it to you to be like spiteful? Obviously, again, not nice. Or is it coming from a constructive place, right? Like you were kind of like, hey, listen, you've been complaining about this. Maybe you should make better decisions by doing X, Y, and Z. I think you were obviously coming from a place of like concern and trying to be helpful. But I think that it's really the intentions behind the honesty that someone has to consider.
Yeah. And also, if it's something that your friend like honestly can't do anything about right now, then like just don't bring it up. Like if y'all have already left the house and her dress is ugly, let it go, because she's gonna feel bad the rest of the night, and it's not like y'all are gonna turn around and let her go change right now. So if it's something small, it's something she can't do anything about, and it doesn't really matter, like just keep your mouth shut. But like, the other thing is like, what if you don't like your friend's significant other? Like, what if you don't think he's good for her? What if you kind of caught him checking the waitress out when she left to go to the bathroom? Like, that is weird. That is where I'm like, oh, should I just keep my mouth shut? But then I'm like, well, if it was me, like, I'd want someone to tell me. I don't know. What do you think?
It's the intentions behind what you're doing, right? Like, are you telling your friend because you're genuinely concerned? Are you telling your friend because you're trying to help them? Or are you like trying to sabotage? Like, I think it depends on the intentions. And I also think it's how you deliver things, because you always want to try to have like some degree of compassion when you tell someone the truth, because otherwise it's just going to be like cruel. Like what you said, you're on your way to dinner, your friend's already dressed, you're in the car, telling her dress is ugly. At that point, she can't change. Right. So she's just going to be in her feelings and feel crappy about her outfit the rest of the night. So that's not really like the kind, compassionate thing to do because you can't change anything. I do think that talking about another person's relationship is very tricky. I have a very, very dear friend that we've grown up together. I mean, I'm talking since high school. So 30 plus years of friendship. And we had a falling out not too long ago because I felt really strongly that this person she was dating was not good for her for a number of reasons. And she was so like enamored by this person that she could not like see the writing on the wall, like did not want to see it. And nothing that any of us in our group said was going to change the way she felt about this man. And the group, we had like a really solid group of 7 girlfriends. The whole group kind of like dissolved temporarily because of this guy that nobody approved. And some of the friendships never recovered. Like there's 2 girls in the group that don't talk anymore. And they were the closest in the group.
That's crazy. Over a guy?
Over a guy. And she's not with the guy anymore. It ended up, everything we told her was right. She's not with the guy anymore, but she was so like hurt and I guess offended by how we spoke to her, like how brutally honest that like the friendship didn't recover. So that's why I think it's very you have to like proceed with caution with relationships.
Yeah, look, I mean, we're
no judgment, right? You know, because a lot of times it comes off as if you're judging.
Right. But at the end of the day, it's like, I just want you to be happy. And I'm worried that this guy isn't going to be what's it for you. But again, I mean, even like my stepdaughter's boyfriend, she's lovely, but I just don't see them being together like long term, you know, but she don't want to hear that at all. Nor would you if you were 21, 22 years old and so googly eyes in love with somebody. And you know what I mean? When you're in love and I don't know, the oxytocin, the dopamine, all the things, I mean, under a functional magnetic resonance, it's the same centers of the brain that you would have if you did a line of cocaine is when you're in love, right? And so
or when you first see your baby, when you're like just give birth to your baby and you're completely in love and enamored, it is.
Yeah. And so to tell someone that that's not good when their brain is lighting up like that, it's not going to go well for us either. So maybe, you know, biting the tongue with a little bit of grace might be the right way to go and being there to support her.
And I think also asking somebody, do they want your input, right? Like instead of coming off and just being like, girl, what are you doing? You're like, Tiff, I kind of want to talk to you about your relationship. Are you open to like my opinion? Like, do you want my opinion on like what's going on? And then maybe the person's like, you know what? No, not really. I'm happy. I'm doing my thing. All right, then don't say anything. You keep, you know, but at least then it's like, there's an invite to talk about it versus you just inserting your opinion unwantingly.
Yes. You know, my husband and I started doing this like 2 years ago because I would vent about something and then he would try to fix it, which I guess a lot of men try to do. And so then my therapist told me to say, I just want support, not solutions. And when I say that, then he's like, oh, like you just want to be backed up. Like I just want to vent and you don't need to think of any solutions. You just need to smile and nod, pour me a glass of wine. And I'm like, yeah, she's a fucking bitch. And then you're like, yeah, she is a bitch. That's the kind of solidarity I want. I don't need you to come up with solutions for me. Right. And so now I say to him, I'm like, I just want support, not solutions.
It's good.
Yeah.
It's a good way to be.
We are wrapping up today's etiquette episode. We hope that we have shared some insights with you about the modern mom's guide to proper etiquette by Dr. Nicole and Dr. Tiffany. If you guys are
doing it right, but it's just the way we do it.
Yeah. And if you guys have more etiquette related questions, I have no shortage of opinions on which to give about your problems. So feel free to send us a DM or a comment on our post and tell us about an etiquette dilemma that you're having, because we will be happy to opine on it.
You know what I would love to do? Like a Dear Abby. Like,
yes.
Like Dear Scrubs.
Yes.
I would think that would be so fun. All right, you guys, send us your emails or your messages if you have a life crisis.
And we will do our best to solve it.
Some issues at work.
We love family drama. We love work drama. We love friend circle drama. I mean, we just love it. Yes. So send us your dilemmas and we'll do our best to help you solve them. Until next time, guys.
Next time, guys.
Bye.